Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Commerce Today. It is December. We are in the middle of the holiday rush. It's getting cold even here in Dallas. So I'm doing something a little different today. I don't actually have a fire, but I'm going to consider this kind of like a fireside chat, just maybe a shorter, simpler episode talking about promotions and how to offer discounts without damage. Now, hopefully, since Black Friday has just passed, hopefully you've already figured out your promotions and discounts for all of 2025. So we're going to look at 2026. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is I've seen so many brands in the past week or two in the lead up to the holiday season and Black Friday, Cyber Monday that just absolutely wrecked things with their promotions, and not like a good sort of wrecked, but a bad sort of wrecked. And there's one company in particular, I'm actually going to name names too. A company that I purchased from before. It's an interesting company. They're called Inside Tracker. It's like a combination of health tracker data and lab work. So you actually can order blood work, lab tests through Inside Tracker. They do some interesting things. They have some algorithms, etc. Not here to talk about their products or their service, but they're a really good example because they have absolutely trained me. Every Black Friday, they do a 50% off discount. And unless I know there's some of y'all out there, some marathon runners I know and such that might be doing blood work every month, really trying to optimize their health, but chances are this is the kind of service that you might use once or twice a year. You can wait till Black Friday, purchase with that 50% discount. The tests are even good for 2 years. Why would you ever buy full price? Why would you ever buy anything less than 50% off? I was already thinking about that. I was like, wow, that's not the best strategy. It's so predictable. They do it every year. It's such an extreme discount. And the one way they did surprise me, they mixed it up this year. Previous years, it would be 50% off from usually about Thanksgiving Day until sometime in the following week past Cyber Monday. This year, they actually sent a few emails that, the 50% off's ending soon, 50% off's ending soon. Yeah, 50% off is going away. Black Friday deal is done at midnight on Sunday night. You better get your orders in. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, maybe they're at least cutting back the time frame here. Maybe I should go ahead and order. And I was like, nah, they'll do something for Cyber Monday. Sure enough, Cyber Monday, 60% off. So now I'm thinking, why would I ever buy it 50% off? Now, the twist, you did have to buy two to get the 60% off. But still, now, even when they do their Black Friday deal next year, which I'm sure, unless they're watching this podcast episode, they're going to do 50% off again because they do that every year. I am guessing that unless they drop it to 60%, a lot of us that saw them do that this year are going to wait for a 60% off discount. And that's the problem with doing kind of the perma sales. And I know this is a huge problem on Amazon. When you look at their Black Friday deals, you look at the price history, especially if you go to a site like camelcamel.com that lets you see sometimes years of price history, and you see that, wait, these products are almost always on sale. These discounts aren't that great. Or every year at Black Friday, there's a 30% discount. Stock up or wait to buy on those times. And what ends up happening with that is you can actually, without realizing it, raise your customer acquisition cost and even lower your customer lifetime value. So you're spending all this money, all this effort to drive traffic to your site, and you're throwing some money away. So lots of times I have seen where if you give like a blanket 20% off, it's going to end up costing you more in that discount than even your ad spend is costing you to get that traffic. So that's what's broken. That's what's not working with promotions. And if that's how promotions work on your e-commerce site right now, don't feel bad. That's how a lot of brands do it. And that's why consumers are trained to this. But I feel like it's a pretty easy fix that you can apply for 2026. Again, with these kind of holiday season episodes, I want to keep it light and simple. No complicated math, no 15-step processes. It's actually just 3 steps and 3 jobs, basically. So every promotion you run should have one of 3 jobs, and only one, and you should make sure that the promotion is actually doing that job. And I bucket these into those 3 buckets: traffic promotions, inventory promotions, relationship promotions. So traffic promotions, this is to drive new users to your site. This is to drive new, basically first-time purchases. This is to get people buying. This can be tied into your ad spend. This could be the email newsletter submits that pop up. Could be things like that. You really want to limit how big this discount is, and you want to make sure you have really good attribution and tracking so you can really track, is it changing the customer's behavior when they first land on your site? Next up is inventory promotions. So when you have specific SKUs that you need to move, if you have dead stock, that is another good use of discounts and promotions. Never make these site-wide by default. I see some brands that once or twice a year, they'll do their big clearance and they basically put everything's 20% off. Again, you're training people to never buy from you unless you're offering at least 20% off. So keep this targeted to very specific SKUs. And the relationship promotions, basically reward loyalty, reward your high lifetime value segments. Really focus on those and not, again, just giving blanket discounts. So every promotion should have one job. You should be able to say, hey, the job of this promotion is traffic, it's to move inventory, or it's to build relationship, and it should have one success metric. So how do you apply this to 2026? I would go ahead and build out, if you haven't yet, and hopefully many of you have, build out a Q1 2026 promotional plan and schedule. Make it a very simple calendar. Don't plan discounts for every single day of the quarter. Anchor your offers around maybe 3 key moments in the quarter, not 20. Definitely set guardrails around it. So make sure you maintain a minimum margin that your brand is comfortable with, that works with your financial model. Definitely set frequency limits and make sure that you develop a don't train the customer rule. So as your team is defining promotions, you really want to find ways to keep them unique, keep them very targeted so that, again, people aren't thinking, oh, every Black Friday I'll get 50% off, but instead are thinking, oh, this is a brand that is giving me really good value through these promotions, but I can't just wait until I get a promotion to make a purchase. And one experiment I would recommend is test doing value-added bonuses versus just percent or dollars off. So if you have a product that may be a bundled product or some type of value-added bonus might change your drive behavior, definitely experiment with doing that so that, again, you're not just training people to do these percentages off. So that is everything about promotions I wanted to talk about today. This is going to be a fun little series. There's actually 3 more episodes coming. One about B2B quoting that doesn't suck and how to fix B2B quoting online. One that is very applicable this time of year and have some fun stories about when everything breaks at once, when your site is crashing or not working the way you want. And finally, we're going to wrap up this series with an episode on subscriptions and replenishment without the hype. And again, without training your customers to maybe only seek out discounts from you. So again, this is Joshua Warren of Creativity and Commerce Today. Definitely please reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can find me there as Joshua Warren. You'll see a Creativity gold background behind my headshot. My DMs are open. You can even schedule a free e-commerce brainstorming session with me. And you can find the link to buy my book, The E-Commerce Growth Playbook. Thanks, and I'll see you all in the next episode.